Hey friends, it's Rachel, and in this video I have 4 craft items iron-on edition. So we're going to do 4 different types of iron-on just to give you some variety. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So iron-on patches are all the rage. So the first one we're going to work on is a patch, and this is from Hobby Lobby, and of course I got to do a shirt for my daughter. So let's go ahead and get this one done. Bringing in my heat mat, and of course I'm gonna go ahead and do the second wavy line. I'll let that preheat, and then while that is preheating, I am going to lint roll this. Lint rolling basically helps adhere any type of vinyl, of course the patches as well, so that is why we are going to preheat it as well. Not sure if I mentioned this, but the shirts and the patch, it's actually kind of has the diamonds on there. They are both from Hobby Lobby, and I just found both of them in their fabrics area. Well, not the fabric area, but like in the craft fabrics. Now you could take it a step further and fold the shirts in half to find center. Don't always want to rely on that tag, because that tag doesn't always mean it's in center. Sometimes it's off center, it gets off center, so you just don't want to rely on the tag placement. I know I've seen a lot of crafters do in their videos and their YouTube channel. I'm like, oh, don't do that. In fact, my mom taught me that because she's a seamstress, and she told me don't ever rely on that tag because it's not always in the center of the shirt. So there you go, a little lesson you learn. The more you know, right? So I'm just folding it to find that center, making a crease. I chose Sassy because my daughter, oh my gosh, she's the pure definition of sassy. Ooh, that girl is sassy. Anyway, I feel like all 3-year-olds are, and she's so bossy. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to teach her a lesson, right? It says to let it cool, then carefully remove the light plastic film on the front of the iron. I do worry about that melting on my iron. I mean, I would imagine it would say put some type of protection over it. So I'm going to do that anyways, just to kind of protect my heat press. I don't want to accidentally, melt it onto my press and then having to buy another one. I am going to go ahead and bring in some parchment paper to protect it. Now, you do whatever you want. I'm just worried that it will melt on my iron, and I don't. We have a lot of ironing to do, and I need that to work for today's project. Okay, all right, so I'm going to kind of hold my patch down and just focus on one area. This probably will work better with a larger heat press, but with today's project, we have small stuff, so that's why I'm only using this. I could get out my larger one. So it says medium pressure, so I'm just going to kind of hit each letter for 17 seconds. You'll see a little discoloration on the shirt, and that's just fine. It will go back to normal once it cools down, so I'm not too worried about that. So it definitely stayed on there. I'm just going to go ahead and hit it on the back just to give that extra heat to it. And it looks like the plastic on the lettering, it did not melt, so I think you guys would be fine. It's just, I don't know, I find it hard to believe that it won't peel off in some way, so I just went ahead and used my parchment paper to protect it. I think that's good enough. And then it says when it cools down, you can remove that plastic. So I'm going to remove my mat, turn it around, put it on my glass mat. The glass mat's pretty cool, so it's going to draw that heat out of it and cool it down faster. You don't have to have a glass mat to do that. You just put it on your table and you will be good to go. So again, just cooling it down, flipping it over. And it looks like it's going to take a little bit for that to cool down. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a second to cool down. Okay, I think that cooled down good enough. So I'm just going to peel that plastic off. Now, if you have to, oh, it looks like it melted the plastic in the middle. I wonder if that will wash off. I don't know. I wonder if I can get that off of my shirt here. Okay, well that's something to be aware of, this plastic here. I'm gonna let this, it's still pretty warm and it's super sticky. I think this will come off in the wash. I'm trying to peel it off. I don't want to ruin it. So that's interesting. And it's still, I don't know, it's still pretty warm. So I'm going to give that a chance to further cool down. We'll revisit this at the end of this video to see, you know, if I can get that plastic off. I wonder though if that will, when you wash it, it will wash off. I don't know, I'm not completely sure, but pretty cool than those traditional fabric patches that you guys have been seeing all over YouTube, and including my channel as well. They are just all the rage, and this is just the diamond. How cool is that? I think that's super cute and super fitting for my daughter. If anyone knows my daughter, you know that this is the perfect shirt for her. So let's go ahead and move on to the next iron-on project for number 2. I bet you guys didn't know that you can iron on book bags, and if you did, that's awesome. We're going to go ahead and do that. This book bag is actually not new to us, or my daughter at least, and I promise not all of this is, well, actually maybe one craft is not for my daughter, but this can apply to you if you carry a book bag or carry, you know, this could be for your kids. This actually book bag is probably over a year old. In fact, my daughter, I just took it from our craft room because I wanted to show you guys that you don't have to just iron on to clothes. You can iron on to book bags and other things that you're about to see. So anyways, my daughter came in my craft room today and she's like, hey, what are you doing with my book bag? And I said, Mommy needs it for her YouTube channel. And I am adding a little something on her book bag. So I just found white iron on. I thought that would stand out amongst all this cute little pattern here. And I think we got this book bag at Skechers. My mom bought it for her when we were there. So yeah, this is about a year ago. So I doubt that they still have it at Skechers, but you can definitely try. And she loves this book bag. She puts her little stuffies in there and carries it with her, and yeah, so she really does like it. So this just says bookworm. She absolutely loves us reading books to her, and she's finally getting to the point where she'll actually like not turn the page on you while you're trying to read the page in the book. She'll actually sit there and look at the images while you're reading, which I thought was really cute. And thank goodness we're finally at that point, right? And because as you guys know, for those who have little kids, sometimes reading books to kids, toddlers in particular, they don't always pay attention. They're always wanting to flip the channel, and it's always hard to get them to stay focused on one page at a time, and you're literally reading a sentence and then they want to change the page. So we're at that stage finally that she'll actually go ahead and stay focused while we're reading. I don't know about you guys, I am just not a reader. I never have been, although I've been in college for 10 years full-time, all the way from an associate's to a master's degree, and I hated reading all the entire time. And now that my daughter, you know, I want to read to her, and it's like, oh, I still hate reading, but I'm gonna do it because, you know, we got to reach our kids, right? My friend Ellen, and you guys seen some videos I've done crafts for her wedding, she told me statistically they will have a higher reading level comprehension if the father reads to the child. So I thought that was pretty interesting. In fact, I'm going to trim this down. So have the father of your kids read to your children. So apparently that has some effect on them, versus, and I'm going to preheat this as well to remove any moisture, because goodness knows if she got any of her drinks on there. But anyways, that's what she told me, and I was like relieved. I'm like, oh good, I'll have my husband read to her. No, I'm just kidding. I love reading to her. She just She really loves it, and I really love reading to her. All right, so just preheated that, and I'm going to add this towel for extra stability, and then I'm going to go ahead and place this here. Oh yeah, that you really, when you have a pattern like this, you want to have like a bold font so that way it really stands out. Okay, let me just try to get that centered. Now you can add some tape to that, but I'm not going to. I think it will be just fine. Okay, I think that looks good to me. And I'm just going to use my mini press. This is why I absolutely love this mini press. In fact, this was the #1 thing that I had on my video, if you guys watched it. It was top 5 things, top 5 must-haves in your craft room, and the top 5 things I regret purchasing for my craft room, and this was #1. I'll be sure to link that video in the description box. If I don't, let me know and I will add it to that so you can watch that after this video. This is my one thing that I'm so thankful that I purchased, and so if you haven't got yourself a mini press, ask for it for Christmas, add it to your list, and hopefully Santa will bring it. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and iron this on, putting my hands underneath the towel just to protect my fingers. And then I'm going to just add extra stability to it so that way it gets fully ironed on. Perfect. I think that's good enough. Applied a lot of heat to it. I'm going to flip it over again, letting that heat out. And I'm actually going to flipping that over to get that heat out, and then we'll peel the backer. I think that is good. I'm going to go ahead and peel that back. And it laid down perfectly. So there you go. So here's an idea. Other than ironing on to a shirt, you can iron on to a book bag and you will be good to go. Let's get into the next one. Of course, I had to bring in a traditional fabric iron-on. So I found this child ruffle apron. I thought it was absolutely adorable. Look how cute it is. And my daughter is getting into arts and crafts more and more. Now this is for 4 and up, but I figured, you know what, I think she'll be able to wear it regardless, and she'll grow into it. So what we're gonna do, since we're doing a traditional fabric iron-on, I decided to show you a layered iron-on. So that is what we're gonna do in this craft. So that way we're gonna keep it still kind of spicy. So that way we can keep it exciting instead of seeing another. We all know that we can iron on a fabric. Well, now you can see how to layer iron on. And I just chose 2 different pinks. All right, don't forget when you're doing iron on that you need to mirror it. That's always important. Unless it doesn't matter, the design doesn't matter, but with text you definitely need to make sure that you mirror the design. And I've mentioned this in a video, I don't know how long ago, but I am just not a big fan of ironing on, not a big fan of weeding iron-on. I mean, I like it because it is really easy in comparison to adhesive vinyl, but it is not as satisfying as vinyl. Let me know if you're the same way. I don't know what it is. I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, I like it. Like I said, I like how easy it is, but I don't know. I just love to I get more gratification of weeding with adhesive vinyl than I do with ironing on or iron-on vinyl. Just, I'm weird like that, I guess. Let me know. Please tell me I'm not alone. Someone tell me that you're the same way, that you love the gratification of iron-on, or that you love the gratification of adhesive vinyl over iron-on. So what I did in a font that I'm really loving is, oops, I'm going to be careful that you don't have any of those scraps. Get that off. So you always want to make sure that you look at your piece before you iron it on. But I have Less Craft, and then I found a heart in the basic shapes, and I went with a lighter color to be in the background. So I just did a heart. Now I didn't do an offset. You could very easily do an offset and then slice it, but I wanted to show you that you can do layering. So that's what we're going to do. Let me clean up my mess here. Okay, bringing in that heat mat again, and then now what would be super cute, and oh, now I kind of wish I would have thought about this. I might do it off camera, but how cute would it be? I didn't even think about this until I was laying on here. How cute would that be to put that heart there and then put this here? Oh my goodness, that would be super adorable. But I can always do that. I have more of that vinyl. I will just do that off camera. I promised you guys I was not going to make this traditional fabric iron-on boring, and I was going to show you something layered. So that's what we are going to do, but how cute would that be? So as always, you want to lint roll, and then you want to preheat your material. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I did get this apron from Hobby Lobby, and again, it was in their craft fabrics, not in their sewing fabric area. That's something completely different. So just make sure you don't go over on that side of the store, depending on how your store is set up. And I'm really just ironing it on, or ironing, because I want those wrinkles out. Okay, so first of all, what you're going to want to do is I'm going to actually, let's see here. I'm going to try to find center. I actually pulled up Design Space because I wanted to make sure that I had this centered within the heart. So I think I did. I think I might need to go up just a tad with this. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. More so it's just I'm trying to find, you know, where the center is between the apron here, and that would help me with the heart. So what you want to do is try to layer them together first, and then you're going to want to peel that away, because obviously we don't want that to iron on to our backer here. So that is what I want to try to make sure that I avoid doing. So a lot of people and YouTubers will recommend only iron this on for a few seconds. You don't want to apply too much heat, and then you want to take the backer off, and then you want to iron on your next piece of vinyl. But I don't know what it is, but I just can't do that. I just really got to get this ironed on, and then I add the next layer. That's what I do. Of course, you do whatever works for you, because every time I do it, they said do it for 5 seconds. I think it's 5 seconds. And then you go ahead and remove the backer and then apply your next one. Well, every time I do it, it always comes off. So I've never had any luck doing that. And that is why I'm going to flip this over real quick to get the back of it. That is, which actually is really not necessary, but that is what they recommend. Again, I don't know. I can't do it. Okay. I'm going to peel that back, and if it comes up a little bit, try to get that piece off. You're going to end up applying more heat anyways, so it's not that big of a deal if you can't get that, if it doesn't stick down all the way. All right, I think this needs to go over just a little bit. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, now here's the thing. When you layer it, you want to put this back on here to protect your exposed vinyl. So just make sure you don't throw that away, and you're just going to go ahead and apply the heat press to it. Now, of course, if you accidentally threw it away, you can also use parchment paper or butcher paper and put it over the exposed vinyl. That will work just fine as well. I like to try to keep it, but if I had a hard time pulling it apart, then I might switch to a parchment paper, just because I don't want to have to, like, for example, if it's glitter iron-on or anything that, I don't know, if I had a hard time peeling it back, I will not put that backer up or backer back down. What I will do is I will put butcher paper. So anytime it was really hard to pull up, I just use butcher paper or parchment paper. And then that way I don't have to apply that sticky backer down again. And then I'm going to try to peel off the top one. That's good. Perfect. And then I'm going to carefully remove this. Looks like I have some lifting and starting to wrinkle a little bit, so I'm going to try to fix that a little bit better. Don't know if I'm able to. Alright, so let me apply more heat. I'm going to be really careful not to hit that exposed vinyl there, or the HTV rather. Okay. I think that's good. I'm going to try this side first. Yeah, it looks like I need to apply that heat a little bit more. So I'm going to throw that on there so I don't have to worry about hitting that vinyl, and hit the heat press a little bit more. Alright y'all, I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't have trouble. I had to edit some of this out. This had a difficult time sticking to the fabric. But hey, we got it. Struggles happen. It is what it is. But how cute is this? I absolutely love it, and I think she'll love it too. Alright, let's move into the last craft. We'll revisit the first one to see if that plastic has cooled down and I'm able to rip that up. The last craft is ironing on to some wood. Yes, for those who didn't know, you can iron on to wood, and I found this cute little sign. I got it on clearance from Hobby Lobby, and it had something cute on there, and I ended up, well, my husband ended up sanding it off for me, and I'm going to reapply something. And I thought about painting it just because, you know, the sanding did take off some of that darker wood, but I thought it actually looks kind of cute. It looks distressed, and so, which is kind of perfectly in theme for my house. So I am just going to leave it as is. So yeah, you could actually iron onto wood. In fact, I almost prefer to iron onto wood anyways. That's just, I love to iron on the wood, and especially if it's going to go outside, I prefer to do iron on. I feel like it lasts better in the elements than just regular permanent adhesive vinyl. That's just my personal preference. So if I can, I will do iron on for anything that goes outside. But this is just going to stay indoors. But again, I wanted to provide some examples of things that you can use your iron on vinyl for, and this is one of the many. Of course, there's several other materials and things like blanks that you can iron onto, but these are the 4 that I have that's been in my craft room that I need a craft with, and I thought it would be great to have all in one video. So that is what we are doing. And to be honest, I can't remember what this says. It says this, oh, this is for my kitchen. Let me finish weeding this out, and then we will take a look at it, what it says. It's a lot of small pieces. This is another reason why I like to do iron on, because I think iron on does a great job as far as weeding the small pieces. And you know what? It looks like I lost my dot to my eye, and that stinks. Okay, the biggest dot, and I lost it. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see it right there. We're gonna make sure that that doesn't get lost. I don't know what side is up, so if it doesn't adhere, then that means I have it the wrong side. So we will get that figured out. But anyways, I think iron on vinyl does a better job with the small pieces. I'll tell you what, if I was doing regular, well, I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't do regular adhesive vinyl for something so small. Now, of course, you can't always do iron on for every blank that you have, but you know, if you can and you have a small text and design, then try to do iron on, because it really does make it easier than regular adhesive vinyl, because these, I'll be honest, these little letters will be a little nightmare with just regular adhesive vinyl. It's just my opinion. That's how I craft. That's what I like. And that's what I prefer. I got that all weeded out. I had a little issue. Looks like I missed a couple pieces. A little issue with one of the letters coming off. Did not want to stay on, but I got it all weeded out. And I'm going to use my, actually before I do, I'm going to go ahead and lint roll this, just because I know that my husband sanded this and I don't want any of those dust particles to get in the way. And then, oh, you know what? I used got my little dot and I wasn't supposed to do that. Oh goodness. Okay, let's try getting that off. Okay. Okay. Yeah, good thing I did that because look at all that dust. All right. And then I'm bringing this in, and it just says, in this kitchen we make messes and memories. I thought that was super cute. I am going to bring in my parchment paper, preheat this just in case there's any moisture. You never know. Okay, that's good. And then I'll bring this in. I think that cooled down enough where I can peel this back. Now, of course, I want to be careful and monitor everything to ensure that nothing gets peeled up. Oh, looks like I need to hit it a little bit with my tea. Perfect. And again, there's a lot of dust on there, so that's why I wanted to use a heat press. Now, here's the part that's going to be a little bit interesting. I'm trying to pick this back up. You know what? I hate to do that, but alright. I don't know if I have it the right side. That's the only problem with doing this, is I don't know if I have the part that's supposed to be on the blank correct. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to try it anyways. Put my heat press on it. And if it doesn't stay, that means I didn't have it the right way. And I'm just kind of going through the whole thing, making sure that that really sticks. This is really hard to keep still, my goodness. Okay. Peeling that back. Now, I added the parchment paper to protect the rest of my vinyl, and it's not moving. So, oh my goodness, what is the luck that I would have? And it just, I put it on the right way. Perfect. So there you go. So I love it. And again, this was from their Hobby Lobby section. I don't even remember what was on there, but I scraped it off and then added my own little sentiment on there. Let's bring back the shirts and see if that plastic will come off. Then we will bring back all of the iron-on projects. Here is the shirt, and I don't know. I'm going to bring in my weeding tool. I want to be careful not to poke the shirt. It is super sticky, and that is why, if it wasn't so sticky, I would take it, or I would leave it on the shirt, but it is really sticky, and I don't know if this is going to come off, guys. I'm a little upset that this happened. I wish that I would have known to peel that part off. Yeah. Well, you guys, if you're getting this is something I would definitely take into consideration, peeling off that plastic in the areas where, like, for some reason this didn't get melted on there. Yeah, I don't know, but, well, if I remember, I will, by the time this video gets posted, let me look at my schedule here. Yeah, this video is getting posted on October 19th, and it's currently August that I'm making this video, so the shirt definitely would have been washed by then. And if I remember when this video gets posted, I'll post it in the comment section and let you know if this got washed off. I'm not really that worried about it because this is just a shirt for her to play in, and you know, it only cost me $4 plus the patch, so that's all right. Let me bring in all the crafts and then we will see which one my favorite one is. Well, here they are, 4 different types of iron-on projects. We did traditional iron-on to fabric, but we did layering. We did it on a book bag. We did it on a piece of wood, and then we did an iron-on patch that has this diamonds on there. So I really enjoy doing them all. Which one is my favorite type of ironing on projects? It's usually wood's my favorite type of iron on projects, is ironing on to wood. Those are my absolute favorite types of projects for iron on. But I did enjoy this one. I thought that was really cool. It's really simple, but I'm really like hoping that that plastic, that melted plastic, will come off. If it doesn't, oh well. It's like I said, she'll outgrow it and not going to be a big deal. But I really like how this turned out. I thought that was super pretty. And of course this, I can finally get this back into her playroom and she will not be upset with me anymore. So hopefully you guys gain some inspiration on different types of ironing on projects. Again, we got ironing on wood, we got an iron on patch, you can iron on book bags, and of course you can do your traditional fabric, but you also you saw that we did some layering. Alright, well you guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!